Today, our topic is what makes a good life. Wisdom from philosophers. Life is a journey, and everyone wants to live a good life. But what does that really mean? Philosophers from ancient times to today have thought deeply about this question, and their ideas can help us understand how to live well. A good life is not about having the most money, the biggest house, or the most fame. Instead, it is about finding meaning, building strong relationships, and living with virtue and purpose. Let us explore some of the wisdom from philosophers that can guide us in creating a good life. First, let us talk about the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle. He believed that the purpose of life is to achieve eudaimonia, which means happiness or flourishing. But this happiness is not just feeling good or having fun. For Aristotle, true happiness comes from living a life of virtue and fulfilling our potential as human beings. He taught that we should develop good habits like courage, kindness, and wisdom, and use these virtues in our daily lives. By doing this, we become the best version of ourselves and find deep satisfaction. Aristotle also believed that we need good relationships to live a good life. Friends and family are important because they help us grow, support us in hard times, and share in our joys. So, if you want a good life, focus on becoming a good person and building strong connections with others. Next, let us look at the Stoics like Epicurus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. The Stoics believe that a good life comes from focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. They taught that external things like money, fame, or even health are not under our complete control, so we should not base our happiness on them. Instead, we should focus on our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, because these are things we can control. For example, if something bad happens, like losing a job or facing a difficult situation, the Stoics say we should not let it ruin our peace of mind. Instead, we can choose how to respond. We can stay calm, think clearly, and find a way to move forward. This is how we build resilience and inner strength. The Stoics also believed in living simply and being grateful for what we have. By not chasing after more and more things, we can find contentment and peace in the present moment. Another important philosopher is Epicurus, who taught that the key to a good life is finding pleasure and avoiding pain. But Epicurus was not talking about wild parties or selfish indulgence. He believed that the best pleasures are simple and natural, like enjoying a meal with friends, spending time in nature, or learning something new. Epicurus also said that we should avoid unnecessary desires, like wanting more money or fame, because these can lead to stress and unhappiness. Instead, we should focus on what truly brings us joy and peace. He also believed in the importance of friendship and community. For Epicurus, a good life is one where we feel safe, loved, and connected to others. Now let us talk about the modern philosopher Viktor Frankl, who survived the Holocaust and wrote a famous book called Man's Search for Meaning. Frankl believed that the most important thing in life is finding meaning. Even in the worst situations, like being in a concentration camp, Frankl saw that people could find purpose and hope. He said that we can find meaning in three ways: by creating or doing something meaningful, by experiencing love and connection with others, and by how we respond to suffering. Frankl taught that life is not always easy, but even in hard times we can choose our attitude and find something meaningful to hold on to. This idea is very powerful because it shows that we always have a choice, no matter what happens. By focusing on meaning, we can live a good life even when things are difficult. Another philosopher who has important ideas about a good life is Confucius, who lived in ancient China. Confucius believed that a good life is built on ethics, respect, and harmony. He taught that we should treat others with kindness and respect, especially our family and community. Confucius also believed in the importance of self-improvement and learning. He said that we should always try to grow and become better people, not just for ourselves, but for the good of society. Confucius also emphasized the value of rituals and traditions, which help us stay connected to our culture and history. By living with respect, learning, and harmony, we can create a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling. So, what do all these philosophers teach us about a good life? First, they tell us that a good life is not about material things or external success. It's about who we are inside and how we live our lives. Second, they remind us of the importance of relationships. Whether it is family, friends, or community, our connections with others are a key part of a good life. Third, they teach us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. This helps us stay calm and strong, even in hard times. Fourth, they encourage us to find meaning and purpose, whether through our work, our relationships, or how we respond to challenges. Finally, they remind us to live with virtue, kindness, and respect, both for ourselves and for others. Now, let us think about how we can apply these ideas in our own lives. Start by asking yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? What values are important to me? How can I live with kindness, courage, and wisdom? Next, think about your relationships. Are you spending time with people who support and inspire you? Are you being a good friend, family member, or partner? Take time to nurture these connections because they are the foundation of a good life. Then, consider how you respond to challenges. When something difficult happens, can you stay calm and focus on what you can control? Can you find meaning even in hard times? Finally, think about gratitude and simplicity. Are you appreciating what you have, or are you always chasing after more? By practicing gratitude and living simply, you can find peace and contentment. In conclusion, a good life is not something that just happens. It is something we create through our choices, our actions, and our attitudes. The wisdom of philosophers like Aristotle, the Stoics, Epicurus, Viktor Frankl, and Confucius can guide us in this journey. They teach us to live with virtue, focus on what we can control, build strong relationships, find meaning, and appreciate the simple things. By following their advice, we can create a life that is not only good, but also meaningful and fulfilling. Remember, the good life is not about perfection or never facing challenges. It is about how we grow, how we connect, and how we find purpose in every moment. So, take these lessons to heart and start building your own good life today.